For me, for most pieces that I write, the main inspiration is always getting the work. It's not the title usually comes later, as it did here. With this piece, I was playing with notions of time, and as I was doing it, a couple of chords, half remembered, came to me from the film It's a Matter of Life and Death. And I still haven't checked out whether they're the actual chords, but they sound a bit like it, and it's two piano chords repeated, which are, in a sense, time related because it's the notion of time is very important in the film because you're passing from death into life, or perhaps not wanting to do a spoiler for the film. So those two repeated chords are played around with throughout, particularly the harmonies are changed throughout. But that it was mainly that inspired what I was doing. And the title actually comes from it's not specifically used, but the conductor, i.e., the guy, like an angel sort of guy who takes you from earth to heaven or wherever, or decides maybe whether you don't get into one or the other. He plays around with time being eternity, so I just said the tyranny of time.
Warm day of spring.
Okay, so overall the piece is very traditional. It's fast, slow, fast, and there are a few things to look out for. There's a form of hocketing where you go from a linear line is split between one instrument and the other. Although in this case it's very octavated, there could be three octaves between one note and the next one. So it's not like traditional hocketing, but it's a form of it, and you'll definitely notice that throughout, and it even ends with that. Uh, the right, and the last section, it opens. It's very declamatory, very specific theme, and that is played around with throughout the whole work. It will come and go, and different variations of it. So that's something to watch out for.
And I stepped out into
The thing that I learned was to always trust your inner ear. Like when I did orchestration, when I was doing my first orchestral piece, before it, I just left college. I looked up orchestral books or orchestration books, and after a while, just wasn't getting anywhere with it. So I just decided to trust my inner ear, and it's much more fun too, and play around with the sounds, and eventually you develop your own musical language and your own way of orchestrating or instrumenting for anything, but particularly for ensembles. And then of course the sense of structure for me is really important to get. That's a very important thing. And this can apply equally to electronics, for example. I mean, I worked with somebody last year, an electronics guy that helped me. He recorded a lot of bowl sounds being bowled, and there was about 30 different sounds that he got. And then we also worked together where we did electronic variations of that. So it was about 40 sounds in general that I had that he then sent me in a file. So I just used that like an orchestra. So I'd pick different ones that would go together. Instead of a flute and a clarinet, you'd pick different ones like bowl A with bowl C with different types of bowing. So that was very handy. And of course, then that helped to give an overall structure to the piece. And then bass clarinet and vocals were laid over that. Working with Hard Rain, it's great to be working with them again. When I worked with them before, it was their overall musicianship I thought was really, really superb. And the way they approached the piece and took it step by step and got it. But above all, for me, it was the energy they brought to the piece, and it happened to be quite well. Actually, the two pieces they've done before have been quite energetic, as is this one. Funny that. And but I really liked that energy that they brought to the piece with an overall musicianship, and for me, that's hard to beat. So I'm really excited about working with them again. As for what I'm doing now, I'm doing a piece for piano trio for the ensemble called Ikagi, and that'll be performed in March. It's quite a meditative, slow piece. And then I've got a new piece in Rosemary Street Church in Belfast in April, and that's for piano. Cathal Masterson's performing, brilliant pianist, brilliant, and he's going to do the Brahms Handel variations, and then I'm going to do variations on the Brahms Handel variations, plus the original Handel itself, and it's called the Bramdel Variations, which is an amazing title, like, isn't it? So looking forward to that. And then on the long finger, another piece for piano for Fiacre Garvey, and it's supposed to be based on some fairy tales of some sort. I've got the choice there, so that's something to look forward to.
The storm